This episode of the Co-optional Podcast is proudly sponsored by Squarespace. Whether you need a domain name, website, or online store, make your next move with squarespace.com/cooptional.
And welcome to the Co-optional Podcast.
Yo!
Only 4 minutes late.
Yes. Yeah, I nailed it.
I'm getting better.
We're getting better every week.
As long as they can hear us and they can see us, then I think we're good.
Don't put that on us. You don't. Oh boy.
I know. So much pressure.
Boy.
So much pressure.
Yeah.
So this is the show for the 10th of July, episode 221, featuring our special guest, ForceGaming.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Thanks
Long
for joining
time
us.
no chat.
I like your little wire fox face in the back.
Oh yeah,
Very on brand.
I
for
got
me.
that from. Is it?
Yeah.
Where did I get that from? Oh, the Hobby Lobby.
What?
I don't like going there.
You don't like going? Is
No.
it because you feel the urge to buy a bunch of things, or because the person you're with feels the urge to buy a bunch of things and you don't get to be
Both actually happen, but I heard some things about like their politics. But let's not talk about politics.
Oh, I see.
No,
Right.
I heard the same thing. So here in the South, we
But that's a good thing about the Hobby Lobby. That's pretty cool.
That is
It
pretty
is cool.
I feel like a 12-year-old boy, though. I'm not gonna lie. Like, at least it's not like that. I used to have a dinosaur wallpaper, and I had these. It was like the dinosaur landscape, and I had these little stickers. I could put them where I wanted. So I'd put like a brontosaurus here and a T-Rex there. And
Is this as an adult or as a child?
no, when I was 12.
Okay,
Hold on,
got it.
Force.
Yeah.
No one can see it. Actually, it's on the stream. But for
Oh,
me,
no.
because I can see it, I see your snowball. I love snowball. But what is next? Is that like a wizard hat? What the hell is that?
All right, so this is a gnome that my wife got from where is
Hobby
it?
Lobby.
No,
A Hobby Lobby gnome?
She got it
This-
from a family
Amazing. It looks
that's
so
from
good.
Iceland, and it's like it's authentic Icelandic gnome.
Right.
And so the reason I have it though is she got it, but then fucking people don't stop calling me Keemstar. So
Calm down, Keemstar.
Exactly.
Turn it down a notch.
people don't
Drama
stop
alert.
calling me Keemstar. And so I was like, well, if they're gonna call me the gnome of YouTube, I might as well have a gnome. Like it's like a little meme in the background of all my videos.
Great.
Sure.
Love it.
Sure.
And now we know.
Yeah.
Did anyone else watch
You
David
mean-
the Gnome like growing
Now
up?
we know.
I have to put that
Yeah,
out there.
I
David the
know.
Gnome was like the greatest thing ever. That was like my Nickelodeon moment. Like David the
Yeah.
Gnome, all those adventures. I don't know why Adventures with Gnomes was such a thing through my childhood. It seems so
I liked
strange.
I think child me knew that I was going to be small because I liked any story that was like, here are tiny people doing amazing things.
Didn't they ride foxes?
Yeah.
I can't remember.
I
It
did.
was like Swift the Fox or something. It's like maybe it literally was Duggar, the animated series before.
Yeah.
Way back
I'm
then.
David the Gnome.
That's right. So
Stop it.
No.
Stop it.
No.
Gnome.
No.
Gnome.
Gnome. So for people who don't know you, Force, we've had you on the show before, but you have sort of made that transition from being Force Strategy to being Force Gaming. I assume you just wanted to play more games?
There's been a lot of transitions when it comes to the horrible naming and branding of my channel. But yeah, Force Gaming is the latest one. I think I changed that over. It was actually a couple years ago. I don't know. I started off my YouTube channel as Force SC2 Strategy. Turns out that's not a hot branding branding name. So I eventually
Yeah.
You were
Do
talking
whatever-
to branding geniuses here. OMFG Cata down there. Okay.
I'm
Just saying.
convinced that like every YouTube channel's name is actually horrible because most people don't start expecting it to become a thing, and then they're like, I can make money. I guess I'm sticking with this name.
Yeah,
Sounds about right.
Sephiroth 77XXD for sure.
Yeah.
Yo, I'd be happy if I nailed X Sephiroth X, I'd be fucking ecstatic. I would be like, X Sephiroth X here, playing the latest Kingdom Hearts.
If I could go back and get like the AOL Instant Messenger names that I used to have like way back
Oh
when,
man.
Fuck,
I feel
yeah.
like that would be some brand quality right there.
I was for AIM, I was Border 182X.
Wow.
Border?
Pretty awesome. Yeah,
That's
like
awesome.
Because you love
like
dogs.
snowboarder.
Oh,
And
got
then like
it.
182 because Blink 182, the hottest band on the
yes.
planet. And then X to really show everyone how straight edge and awesome I was. So
My first email was weeby as fuck. It was piccolo99 at yuuhakusho.com.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And that got shut down real fast.
Oh,
They were like, "We have a
no,
Yu Yu Hakusho
no.
email available," and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm doing it!" And then it got shut down like within a month or two.
Mine was my name and birthday at AOL.com. Just letting you all know that is the easiest hackable account there ever was. I didn't think it was an issue. It was back in the day when people were like, here's a recommended email for you. Your name and birthday.
Your password's like your street address or something. Like,
I'm not joking. It probably was. I'll be real with you.
Thinking back, like how insecure that whole thing was,
Both.
where AOL were like, oh, hey, this is taken, but because you entered in all of this information, your first name, your last name, your street address, your zip code, your birthday, here are some suggested usernames for your AOL account.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I kind of don't want a lot of people to know geographic.
Some websites still do that.
That's so weird. It's like,
So
but
bizarre.
back in the age of ASL,
Gmail used to do that,
S
where it was like,
L/.
if you typed in Jesse, it would be like, what about SEJ? Like, what? Why would I do that?
those are
SCJ would be great.
back
SEJ.
in the good old days of like 14 male Florida. Like how you introduce yourself in every chat room by
Age,
your
sex,
age,
location.
your location,
That's
your
right.
sex.
ASL, that was a thing. Although, like other things made it so much easier, like ICQ, and it's just like you're just a number. You're just numbers. That's all. You don't have an
Yeah.
identity. You're just numbers,
Yeah.
and that's fine.
Actually
don't-
loved that.
Me too. Because you could filter out by
ICQ?
people locally. It was nice. Yeah, ICQ was a thing.
I do not love ICQ.
Back when the internet was just harmless chatting with old people as a teenager,
I
the
was
good old days.
I was introduced to chat rooms when I was visiting my cousin, and she was in a Spice Girls chat room. And what she would
man.
do is she would go, anybody want Spice Girls pics? And then they would DM her and she would send them a Spice Girls, like a random Spice Girls picture from her computer. And I was like, what? She was like, yeah, sometimes people try to like have sex with me on the internet. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because we were like 12. I was like, what?
And here I thought user groups was like where it's at. Like my DS9 user group were like so awesome, sharing all of these horrible, pirated copies of all the discs.
See, that's what I wound up using it for. I was
Yeah.
like, oh my God, chat rooms. This is incredible. And immediately went to find just like,
I am the lamest person. I never chatted with anyone. I didn't give a
No?
fuck. I was like, why would I? The only thing I did for a good portion of my youth was go to a Star Wars forum where we modded TIE Fighter. There's a lot of like awesome TIE Fighter mods out there that I would say go play, except the game's unplayable now. Yeah, that shit was fun. That was it. Because I existed in a world where, I think I said this before. My internet was text, y'all. At my house, my mom, I'd watch TV and be like, log in to foxkids.com to find out all the latest Turtles information. I'd be like, awesome. And I'd log in and it would just be a wall of text. And my mom was like, we don't have the good internet yet. Like, what the fuck does that mean? So throughout high school, my parents never did that stuff. when everyone had a Nintendo, my parents were like, no, Jesse, a Super Nintendo is coming out eventually. You don't want a regular Nintendo. And I was like, but Mom, I don't have it. So I never got any of that shit. I never got any of that shit till I was like in 11th grade. I didn't get any. I had to be outdoors and active.
When we first got internet, we hadn't updated our operating system in so long. It was like 5.1, I think. So we were on Windows 5.1, but we had added internet. And I was constantly messaging my cousins being like, I don't understand how you're able to save pictures. How do you save pictures? And they were like, what do you mean? You just do this. And I was like, I can't save pictures on this. What's going on? And it was
load
my operating system wouldn't let you do it yet.
They're literally, if you logged into the web, I remember this as clear as day because it was like, check out Fox Kids. And I was like, oh my God. And I went online and I had the image in my head of what it looked like from the commercial I saw on TV. I got there and it was just like a wall of text. And where images were, it just said image here.
It's like your entire internet experience is nothing but a mud experience altogether.
Yeah,
You're just like,
totally.
It was not okay. And that was most of the internet for me till I went off to college and I found out like what internet was. And that was high. They had like high speed shit. And I was like, wait, what? What is it? Oh, it was a different reality. And then I never left the computer again. So you're welcome, internet. You got me.
Still remember buying magazines just because it came with the free AOL like 48-hour trial disc.
Yep.
And you'd shove it
Use
into
it,
your computer.
Burn it, get the next one.
Mom would have to make a phone call. She'd get off the game. 1 minute, Mom. I'm just killing the bad guy here.
When did like high speed internet happen? When was that?
For me, it was at least like 2004,
Because
2005.
Because in 1999 at home we still had 56K. We had dial-up.
Yeah, we had
I had to
dial-up
like
We had
fight.
dial-up forever.
Yeah, I had to fight to get on the computer when Mom was on the phone. So I know that at the turn of the millennia, it was still dial-up, I think.
Yeah.
But I went off to college and shit was like high speed all of a sudden.
Oh yeah, because they had
So
like they had a T1 line, and so they would split
I
that.
had no idea.
Right.
But that was
I
that was
don't
the whole
know
thing.
where
It cost so much money for universities to have that, but they needed to have it. So
Well,
the same for
yeah.
me.
Yeah, it's funny too because that like around 2004 is when that's when WoW came out.
Yeah.
And a lot
You
of
couldn't
people
do that on dial-up.
Yeah, well,
We
a lot of
tried.
people say that part of the reason, like WoW was a great combination of things, IP and everything, but part of the reason it did so well was because everyone finally started having good internet. Because there was, like, EverQuest was, like popular, but not huge.
Right.
I played EverQuest on
Final
dial-up.
Fantasy 11 was
Yeah.
out by the
Yeah.
time WoW came out, so
Yeah.
there was stuff going on.
And I played Asheron's Call.
Oh
too.
boy, that was
That was-
my
that
that was my
was another
dial-up game. That oh man, I spent so many hours in Asheron's Call. I can't even. My name's probably still on items I crafted for people in Asheron's Call. I
But
went
I
back
think-
to that.
Yeah, I think it started, it must be between 2000 and 2004 where like the internet started getting really good, and then WoW comes out and everyone's like, online games, hundreds of people, this world's huge, this is amazing. Because I was used to playing, like I played Asheron's Call, but my internet sucks, so it was an awful experience.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I was used
Got
to
griefed
still,
all
like,
the time.
playing
PKs,
GoldenEye with my friends on the couch, not like these big online games. So I don't know.
Do you guys remember the name of your very first MMO character?
God.
I do.
Mine was Nixie.
It was probably some
The Wood Elf
shitty-
in EverQuest.
It's probably some shitty Drizzt derivative or something. Just like this
My-
fantasy rogue guy.
I didn't play EverQuest, but I played Final Fantasy 11 because I'm a Final Fantasy nerd.
Right.
And I played a Taru, and I can't remember its name, but it was something really grossly cute, like slap tickle or something, like something really weird. But like he was a little tiny guy, and he'd be like, "I'm dancing for you."
Yeah, Slap Tickle isn't a name that I would read and be like adorable.
Little tiny cutie pie, and he's like, "La la la." It was, and I was a black mage, and then I became a red mage. Fuck, what? I don't remember. Whatever. But like, I never had characters that were like Blake Shardspear. or Rick Hardbody. You know, like none of the names you see, the people like their first MMO name is something they really want to be serious, like Cersei Nightshade. None of that shit.
It's not like the new Jumanji where you're like, what is that, Smolder Bravestone?
Yeah.
God, I really want to see the new Jumanji. Everybody says it's such a fun time.
It is actually.
One with The Rock?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, that looks good.
Here's the thing.
It is more relatable these days for kids.
Dumb as shit. It is stupid. It is
perfect. That's exactly what I want.
It is a solid 2 hours of entertainment.
It is.
From start to finish, you're like, that was fucking fun. You know what? That's not a great movie, but that was fun. I enjoyed every bit of that. Yeah.
The first like 10 to 15 minutes, I was just like, oh man, teenagers and their angsty problems. But like as soon as they got into the game, I was like, oh, okay, perfect. No, this is good. I can deal with this.
Yeah, the cast is like solid. The jokes are like, decently written video game jokes that like, oh, I understand this joke they made. And it's done in a way that I think even if you played one game on like an Xbox once, you kind of get the gist of what's happening. And so like, it's fun. It's a fun movie.
Great.
Again, The Rock.
Yeah.
Movie Viagra. Throw him into a franchise, he will make that shit grow every time.
Yeah.
When is that going to stop happening?
I don't know.
Never.
He is like a ball of contagious energy. It is pretty crazy. Anytime I watch an interview with him, I'm like, yeah, life. You know, I'm pumped up.
It's the truest too. I'm waiting for like somewhere someone to be like, no, The Rock's actually a terrible person, and it would make me feel better because he's so nice and so good, like so positive. You're like, okay, I'm buying into this. I love you, Dwayne, but like,
I love the fact his name is Dwayne. Of all things, that's like my thing. Like when really bulky like He-Man men have these names like Dwayne. Like such a macho. You could have changed it. You know, you could have been anything, but no, I'm just gonna keep
Dwayne Johnson. It's a good name.
I read something about his daily routine. He works like 18-hour days. He gets up at like 4 a.m. and works out for 3 hours, and then goes and shoots like 10 hours on the movie set for whatever 6 movies he's doing that year. It's just bonkers. The guy.
Plus, he films his HBO show. Plus, he does like the man works. Plus, he somehow finds the time in all of that to eat like 8,000 calories a day.
Yeah.
Damn, it's like, can they just get like a cow that just follows him and he just takes bites out of it as we go?
Yeah, he eats like 6 or 7 meals a day, something crazy.
It's nutty. It's an inspiration when I'm like,
and he has a family.
When I'm like when I'm like 10 a.m. like, I don't know if I want to get up. I see people like that and like, I gotta focus. I gotta get some of that in my life.
I can't even figure out how. And he doesn't do it like he goes and gets like 5 Big Macs. No, he like eats healthy, but in a way that somehow plows like thousands and thousands of calories in his mouth. When do you have the time for that, my dude?
Well, Jesse, I'm gonna bust this shit right open. Are you ready?
Oh, shit.
He hires a chef.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's what money gets you. It gets you a lot of high quality food.
But like, you still have to eat it, and that still takes time.
Yeah.
You're just wondering how he's not like chomping while he's still working. That's
whenever people start bodybuilding, they're told to like eat so much, and at first it's like you feel sick because you're eating so much, but then your body gets used to like actually using it for stuff.
Man, The Rock.
The Rock.
Yeah. We can move on. I'm not gonna. We don't need.
I don't know that we can. Longer. Can we just spend the rest of the podcast talking about Dwayne The Rock Johnson? It might be one of my favorite podcasts.
It's like
have you ever seen all of his movies? I just love him in this movie. By the way, he's literally remaking Die Hard.
Oh yeah.
With one leg, and I'm still gonna go fucking see it.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
So news.
Yeah, what's up? What's going on in the world?
TwitchCon dates announced. October 26th and 28th in San Jose, California. Any of you guys planning on attending?
Maybe. It depends on the state of my babu at that time.
True.
I will not be there.
Oh, saving all that energy for the BlizzCon.
No, I just I think TwitchCon is fun if you're going to like chill, but for some reason, every time I go to like hang out and chill, I'm always like, it's very overwhelming for me because everyone there is like in full hustle mode all the time.
Network.
And just like, and it's cool because I see all the parties and stuff, and I see all everyone like dressed up and like fancy as fuck, and I'm like, God damn, everyone there's beautiful. This is incredible. Like, look at this amazing place. But the day-to-day of TwitchCon is like hustle city. Everyone's like, yo, this is my Twitch thing, this is what I do, and like everyone, and I'm just like, y'all, can't we just grab a drink and hang out, not have to like promote ourselves for 2 days? Because I don't want to do that. This should be fun and about community and us like enjoying what we're doing together. And instead, it's just, and I won't hate on, because mostly it's people who are like have small viewerships who are trying to hustle, and I will never hate on them for that. But it's overwhelming for me. Like I'm just like, I can tell you that I'll check your stuff out, but I'm gonna be real honest with you. I don't have the time of the day to check my own stuff out. Like I don't want to lie to you. I don't want to get involved in all the like everyone jumping in, and it's just too much. If they did it chill, I'd go more.
The only thing oh no, go ahead.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say last year I did a ton of panels and things, and so I wound up just being exhausted for it, just because I was like constantly doing stuff. But the year before was really chill. It was again, it was much smaller then.
Yeah,
but
it grows by leaps and bounds every year.
Yeah, 2 years ago it was like people would just come up and be like, "Hey, what's up?" And I'd be like, "What's up?" And that was it, right? Just like meeting a bunch of cool people. So I think that you can still get that experience out of it, but yeah, as it grows, there are more people who are like, "This is where I need to be to grow my shit."
The only thing I ever see from TwitchCon that I'm like, oh, I wish I had been there, is like the concert at the end, because sometimes they actually get some pretty legit performers.
The events and all the stuff that happens are like super FOMO level, where you're just like, oh, I wish I was fucking there. But everything else, I'm like, I might pass.
I could watch the stream.
Yeah, that's the thing. I felt like I've turned on conventions and events in the sense that I still want to go to like meet up with people, like catch up with you guys in person, grab a dinner or whatever, get a drink. But the work side of it is just horrible. And it seems like usually if your goal is like, if your goal is to get value out of the announcements and stuff, it's oftentimes better to just
stay
chill at
home.
Yeah.
Stay home and do a top 5. What happened at TwitchCon?
Exactly. Especially stuff like E3 now where everything is streamed. It's not like even 5 years ago where it didn't have as much of an online presence, or the publisher / developer didn't instantly upload the 3-minute high quality version of that trailer that you just saw in shitty quality on stream. So at this point, the only reason I want to go, like, I'm going to go to PAX East next year just because I want to hang out with people, you know. That's basically it. I feel like I'm done trying to work those events at this point.
Same.
Yeah, I feel like
I don't miss it. I don't miss carrying around the huge camera rig. I used to carry around the tripod, the camera, the audio setup. We would do
having this heavy
commentary
ass
with the
backpack
devs.
and then like sweating the whole time. Yeah.
I think I've definitely given consideration to the fact that, like, I think maybe next year, unless someone's going to give me money to show up, I'm probably not going to show up to any conventions. I'm thinking of just taking a year off and just chilling.
You'll do CoxCon though, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's fingers crossed, that's the life plan. But I think next year might be like a chill year, but I'm already on that path where this year at PAX, I literally talked to, I've made a lot of friends who work at PAX, and I talked to one of them. I was like, what's that area? You know, the area outside where like everyone sets up a table and like sell their shit? Can I have one of those this year? And they're like, okay. So I'm not going as media. I'm not going as press. I'm literally going to have a table outside.
T-shirts?
Not even that. I'm having a banner made that says Jesse sells out, and I'm literally going to bring everything that I have that I want to get rid of and sell it for $1.
So
Jesse Cox yard sale.
Literally,
I love it. I love it.
Everything that I'm like, well, I don't need this shit anymore. $1. So I'm just gonna get rid of everything. And I had a few devs from like games and like publishers and stuff be like, Do you want stuff? I was like, sure, bring it. Give me your closet worth of swag. I'll sell it for $1. That is happening. It is.
That's pretty funny.
This is where I'm at right now in my life, where I'm just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna have fun and like sell weird shit for $1. I got stuff I'm gonna get rid of. Y'all don't even know. At some point I have 2 of them. At some point over the week, I'm gonna be like, here's a graphics card, $1. A 1080, $1. Got to be there at the right time though. You got to show up. Ain't nobody know what's gonna happen.
Jesse with the crazy giveaways and sales for $1.
I think I'm done just trying to like make it a business of going to conventions because that shit is insane.
It's draining, and you get sick. I get sick at every single one of them, and then there's like weeks of work that are missed. Yeah. My whole life just stops. The week before, the week after, podcasts get canceled. Jesse's not going to be here for the next 2 podcasts because of his little thing called CoxCon in Telford in the UK.
So it's a little,
just a little get together.
Yeah,
little get together, July 21st and 22nd. And are tickets still available, Jesse Cox?
There are a few left. I'm not sure what the exact number is, so don't hold me to that. But I know if you go to the page, you can still buy stuff. So I assume they exist. I haven't actually tried to purchase one though, so if it doesn't work, don't blame me for telling you to go buy tickets and it not working. But
is
I
that
hope
like coxcon.co.uk? Is that your site?
That is correct.
Cool.
Yeah.
Are you looking forward to the con?
This year, there's just a bunch of wacky stuff happening. As usual, we're gonna have some devs there with their games. We're gonna play a bunch of stuff. I'm not going to say that there'll be a special guest, but I'm really working on trying to get someone to show up who's British and may or may not be a detective. Maybe.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Who may or may not ask you what this is for. We'll see. I'm just trying to get like a bunch of nonsense to happen, but Dodger hopefully gets that reference. Chat does now, but yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be chill. I think that's my life goal is just to going to conventions as a influencer or media or whatever. If you're trying to work at a convention, it just isn't the same. It just isn't the same as it used to be.
San Diego Comic-Con's coming up too, actually, which
it is.
For some reason, just
it's at the same time as CoxCon, I think.
It is. It's overlapping like one of the days at least, and that just kind of blindsided me this year. I don't really know why. I've just not been up on my convention calendar that much. Do you guys watch the panels and stuff? And like, oh my gosh, so and so showing up to this
No,
thing?
I went.
Don't care.
I went like 2 years, and literally the part that I love the most about San Diego Comic-Con is the artist area. And I can't, you move like an inch per minute.
It is unbearable.
So that's honestly my only reason for wanting to go. And when it's unbearable to even be in there, there's no reason for me to go anymore.
The worst part is the reason you would go to those art areas is they always have like super exclusive, like I only have 3 of these, and you're like, oh my god, I want that so badly. By the time you get there, they're like, oh, it was purchased during the media hours beforehand.
Right.
Aww.
What a letdown Comic-Con is. If you've never been, God bless, go enjoy, but like I'm not going back. I'll never go back.
And from what I've heard, Rose City and Emerald City, both
City's
of those
good.
Comic-Cons are really good.
Yeah, Emerald City does really well on keeping things more spread out. San Diego Comic-Con is my agoraphobic nightmare. I go in and basically my face is like pushed up against a glass wall somewhere because there's just that many people trying to get in. And there's so many small children at those conventions that I just feel for, like how they're not passing out from just like heat exhaustion from, I mean, I really want to talk to like some fire marshals who deal with San Diego Comic-Con because I got some questions.
Some of the pictures from Anime Expo this year, I was like, this was a hazard for sure. Like, undeniably, this was out of control, the number of people who were at Anime Expo this year.
You cosplayed at Anime Expo, didn't you?
I
saw photos. I thought that was great.
Did. Yeah, my lovely friend Angie Viper, who's also going to be at CoxCon, she really wanted to do Naga from Slayers, and she was like, I know that you love Slayers from when you were a kid. Do you want to be my Lena? And I was like, I just had a baby. So I would love to, but I don't know how that costume's getting done. And she was like, don't worry about it. I'm just going to come over to your house once or twice a week and we'll just make the costumes at your house. And I was like, okay, yeah, that would be fun. So yeah, we slapped those together and it was in the hundreds every day of Anime Expo.
I was worried that things would start melting. That's the one thing.
Everything fell apart.
Yeah.
Literally everything fell apart. Like we hadn't even done anything and things were falling off.
Yep.
My armor was falling apart. Like just any adhesives that we used were just melting in the sun.
And this is why I stopped using foam for a lot of my cosplays and started going towards Warbler because I can't stand when stuff falls completely
But
apart.
even, I mean, Warbler...
I use
hold
Warbler
up in the
itself
heat,
as
too.
an adhesive. So that's the only
Right.
reason it kind of holds together. It's because I'm not relying on something like E6000 or something to
Right.
hold it together. And I reinforce everything a million times over. But that's what makes it so challenging. Cosplay is
Yeah.
a dangerous pastime.
Yeah,
like you're
I had a
falling
lot of
all
fun
over the
putting
place.
everything together, but the actual day, it was fun because we were together and we were just like, well, fuck it, everything's falling apart. But it was exhausting, man.
Aw.
Cosplayers, like,
You gotta love it. You have to love it. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it's just not worth it anymore.
Yo, looking at these photos that you posted, I guess you didn't post it. Alexia posted it, but you retweeted that are like of the halls.
yeah,
With the temperature and the amount of people there, you would have had to carry me out. I would have been
disgusting.
like,
It
no,
was out of
take me away. Oh, I would have been done. You kidding
Yeah.
me?
out of control.
So also in, I guess, sort of, I don't really know if to call this a convention. Do any of you guys actually play Warframe actively at all?
No, Sam does.
Okay.
On and off. Like that's one of those games that I usually revisit a couple times a year. But TennoCon was pretty lit.
And-
Everyone was talking about it this year.
And that's the whole thing is I wanted to see if you guys...
TennoCon?
Well,
Mhm.
Tenno Live, they have like this dev stream that happens and they announce all these things for Warframe itself and you know, your favorite looter shooter giving you basically access to an Ash Prime Warframe if you tuned in on Twitch and had your Twitch account linked to your Warframe account. So you got like a deluxe Warframe just for watching it. But they also announced that Warframe obviously going to be on the Switch, which I actually think that might cause a bit of a resurgence in Warframe itself because I didn't really enjoy the gameplay loop that much on PC, but I can totally see where on the Switch it might get a little bit bigger of a fan base now.
It seems like that's one of those games that has this really steady player base and like
Yeah.
people keep coming back to it and the player base seems to be growing over time. I don't know actual numbers or anything, but I don't know, it's cool. You know, and I think the funny thing about this game, I don't even know if it's actually released yet. I think it's still like in early access technically. Maybe that's wrong, but it's one of those games that was like perpetually early access for like 10 years. I think I first played it like a year after I started YouTube, so 2011 or something crazy like that.
Mhm.
And it's pretty cool. Like people complain whenever the game comes up, I hear people complaining about the grind, but I'm like, that is literally the game. So if you don't like grinding for loot, yeah, you're not gonna like Warframe.
Yeah.
But no, TennoCon was cool. They announced a bunch of new stuff. There's like a new open world area. They added this like new. It's like a better Destiny. I hate to say it, but honest to God, they're trying to do different things. But the dream in my head, like before Destiny came out, the dream of what I expected that game to be, which was like this large scale MMO FPS. I've always wanted this game that combined like Halo and vanilla World of Warcraft. Like I've always wanted that game and it still hasn't been delivered. And I think the closest to it is actually Warframe, especially now that they have a couple of these massive like open areas. You know what I mean? It's pretty legit.
Didn't they also add like space battle?
Yeah. They added like this co-op space battle stuff.
Yeah, because I was seeing people talking about it and being like, isn't this what Star Citizen has said they've been trying to do for?
Don't even get me started on that game.
we can't.
Oh my
the rage,
God.
When that
the
game
rage.
comes out and your great grandkids finally get to play it,
Exactly.
it's gonna be amazing.
Anytime I hear about Star Citizen nowadays, it's like there's a new $50,000 ship available. I'm like, great, awesome. When's the game playable?
I remember paying whatever I paid for the Kickstarter in order to get a special like mining ship. Because like, yeah, I'll fucking like dick around and mine. What was that? Was like 4 or 5 years ago. Since then, I remember someone posted the other day, like, man, if you were part of that original Kickstarter, you're probably really mad. See, I was part of that original Kickstarter.
Ambivalent.
I've transcended mad. I no longer care. Yeah, I literally am unaffected by the announcements. Yeah. When people talk about it, to me, it falls in the category of Kickstarter project that I lost money on. That I just threw money away because I don't ever believe that I'll see this game in a final real form. But for some reason, they are making more money.
It's crazy.
Some nations.
Isn't it like
don't have this money?
Aren't they past like 100 million or so? And for all the Star Citizen hardcore fanboys out there, the game is technically playable, yes, but it's like these like modules, like you have to download this one. Like I'm talking about when they're like, the game's done, and you know it's in a complete or relatively complete package. Here you go. Once that happens, then I'll be like, okay, now I'll check it out. But I just don't know. I don't know if I actually don't know if that's gonna happen. I'm not when, but if. I'm actually concerned. This is what, because you hear about games all the time that get caught in development hell, and you get feature creep, and all this stuff happens, and games are developed for 10 years until they're eventually canceled. The problem with Star Citizen is like they told us at the start of that 10-year development period, and so everyone's sitting here like scratching their head at this point.
Right.
I don't know.
Sorry, I didn't mean to mention the unmentionable game.
No, it's okay.
Fine.
There's another unmentionable game that's like getting put out to Xbox at the end of this month that we're also not going to talk about.
All right, listen.
No.
I am actually kind of looking forward to trying that out. I'll say this about, she's talking about No Man's Sky.
No Man's Pie.
I'll say this about No Man's Sky. If No Man's Sky had launched with actual multiplayer, I think people might have been singing a different tune about the game. Because you look at how many
delivered on 30% of the promises, maybe people would have played this game.
Not even just that, like you look at how many co-op survival sandbox games, which is exactly what that game is becoming this month, that launched with just like bare bone features. And like the features that were in No Man's Sky at launch, I think if I could have played that with people and shot down other stupid people in space with my ship, I definitely would have played that game for at least like a few weeks or months or something.
Longer than it would have taken me to complain about it. That's for sure.
Yeah. But it was like, here's the sandbox game that's buggy. Yeah, it's missing a lot of the promised features, but I can only play by myself. Like this is I don't want to do this. This is garbage, you know? So
what I did want to mention real quick back at Warframe is that the port over to the Switch is actually being done by Panic Button, who did Doom and also did Wolfenstein as well as Rocket League. So I think the port might actually be pretty decent.
Be okay.
It might be okay. But I've been meaning to go back to the looter shooter that is Warframe, but I just, maybe this will actually be the incentive for me. I have no idea.
I went back to see on Kickstarter what I pledged and when for Star Citizen.
Oh man. All right.
2013 was my pledge of $125 for the freelancer ship. Very excited for this. I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna have this awesome ship. I can fly around. High-end ship focused on trade and exploration. I was ready to go across the galaxy. They made $2.1 million on this Kickstarter. Everything promised by November 2014.
Nice. Can I ask you, did you ever fly that $120 some odd ship?
I've never seen it. I will say I got a card that said I was a freelancer on it, sent to me in the mail.
Nice.
I know. That was worth it. So if anyone wants, I was also going to get 5,000 galactic credits, exclusive access to alpha and beta. Ain't nobody sent me an invite to an alpha or a beta. Spaceship shaped USB stick with game and all digital elements, CD of game soundtrack, fold up glossy full color map of the game universe, and hardcover Star Citizen manual. Never said any of that. Never said any of that. Meanwhile, they have $180 million. They're literally just, they live in a pool of money. But whatever, cool.
I mean, I have no question that they're spending a shit ton of that money because. So this is why games get canceled, is because when you go, it's not just like people say, oh, who cares if it takes 10 years? It's because that's 10 years of wages that you have to pay for.
Yeah.
That's where all the money goes, is where you're paying people with 6-figure salaries and you're paying 100. I don't know what their team size is, and they probably freelance a lot of work anyways. But when you're paying that every month becomes like a big expenditure, even though they've made $180 million. It's been since 2013. You can spend that money pretty quickly making a game.
Who are you paying 6 figures to if your game ain't out already? That's my question. That's my question. If your game doesn't exist, why are you all being paid so much?
Yeah, they're working hard, Jesse. I'm sure of it.
I don't believe that for a minute. I really don't. I know somewhere there's some guy named like Carl who has a mansion and he's just living it up. And I say Carl because I feel like of all the villain names, Carl is a sensible one. So
for all we know, it's just been an elaborate Bitcoin mining scheme, and they've just been buying server racks.
It all makes sense now.
But Carl with a K, because that's even eviler.
Speaking of evil things, Amazon Prime Day is coming up. I had no idea that this whole thing had been a thing since 2015. This is the first year I'm actually kind of hearing about it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What is this?
Amazon Prime Day. So it starts at 3 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday, July 16th, and runs to the 17th. And basically, it is sort of their wannabe Black Friday, Cyber Monday thing, but on their terms. I mean, a lot of what I've seen so far is pretty decent deals on console bundles and maybe like some 4K TVs. And of course, they shill all of their Amazon branded stuff like Echoes and whatever.
I used to buy a lot of anime on Prime Day.
But I didn't even know that Prime Day was a thing. I saw at the top of my header on Amazon today, it was like 6 days until Prime Day. I'm like, Prime Day?
Well, I think it's coincided with a Twitch thing, actually. If you have it linked up to Twitch Prime.
Yeah, there's supposed to be
every
certain
day
video
until
game
the
deals.
15th, you get a free game.
Free game, yeah. Which I'm not entirely sold on the whole Twitch game thing anyway. It seems like they want you to use their Twitch. Like, I haven't downloaded whatever Twitch thingy that they want you to
Twitch
use.
app? I downloaded that for because it's now how you get add-ons in WoW. It's the Curse app got rolled into it.
Oh.
It's actually nice because it's 10 times better than I remember Curse.
But you can also just download them from the.
Yeah, then I have to unzip it and like I have to make sure it stays updated. It's actually pretty easy in the Twitch. See, this is how they get you.
Yeah, if they roll that together. Yeah.
They make something convenient.
Exactly. Yeah. Now I've got 75,000 launchers on my desktop.
If I would have known that they had rolled that into that, then I probably would have installed it a little bit sooner. I'm sort of umming and ahhing going back to WoW for Battle for Azeroth, kind of. I said I wouldn't go back until they released Classic.
Classic 2015, 2019, calling it.
That is
guaranteed.
Yeah, because I played ever since Alpha in original Vanilla WoW, and so I don't know why I want to relive the hell that was Vanilla WoW, because there were so many things wrong.
Rosy-colored glasses on.
We do.
Every time people talk about it, I'm like, do you remember what it was?
Here's the thing. There's going to be so many people who come back, like your friends from college or high school or middle school, whenever you started playing WoW.
They all have kids now. They got shit to do.
They're going to listen. So this is why I guarantee it's happening next year, because people are still like, we don't know when it's going to happen. But next year is the 15-year anniversary of WoW. This advertising basically writes itself. It's like, celebrate 15 years of WoW by going back to the beginning. They're not going to do it on the 16th year. Unless they're waiting until the 20th anniversary, they're definitely going to do it next year. And people are going to come back.
Yeah.
And yes, most of them have kids and mortgages. You're right. But they're still going to come back and get to level 10.
It was a lot less complicated back then. That's what I remember. And that's the whole thing. Is I think it caters more towards casuals now.
Less complicated?
Less complicated, yeah. WoW back then was really less complicated, unless you didn't have 39 other friends to go raid Molten Core.
But it wasn't like... I hear what she's saying, because there's like 70,000 systems now.
To
Like,
get to
with
1
the
to
battle
60, that
pets
wasn't
and
a
all
big
this-
deal. I remember WoW before we had flying, and people were like, "Oh, WoW is so easy," and I'm just like, dude, I had to run everywhere. I don't know what you're talking about. And then it's like, oh, well, you can now fly. You know, when griffins and things were no longer attached to a flight path, that was like revolutionary. That was like the greatest day of most people's lives.
You don't remember the dark times. Y'all never
I
played.
remember the dark times.
It's almost like you played something besides a shaman and had to sit
I
there when
did.
paladin
I
loot dropped,
did.
and you were like, paladin loot?
I was the
The
only
fuck?
I was the only shadow priest allowed in my guild, mostly because I was a mana battery, because I refused to heal people. Like, screw that.
Oh man.
So,
or
yeah.
you forgot that from 50 to 60 there was literally no content. You just
It's
killed shit.
fine. Yeah.
It's
Just
not
run Ubers.
fun.
Just
It was
go
the
run
worst.
Ubers again and again and
At
again.
the time it was phenomenal because nothing was like it. There was nothing like it. It was the best MMO, but by today's standards, the perfect example that I got of what it was like was when they re-released Molten Core. And everyone came back to play Molten Core, or the new people went to go play Molten Core, and it was a 40. First off, you had to find 40 fucking people, guys. 40 people in order to even do a raid. And if there was 38, you might as well just call it a night. And so we went to Molten Core, this most recent anniversary, I think the 10-year anniversary, went to Molten Core, did all this shit. We're 5 bosses in, and some kid was like, so are we almost done? And I almost died from laughing at this poor sweet baby. I was like, oh no, sweet child, no child. There's another 5 to go. Like,
people who
we've
got
been in here
lost
4
in
hours
Molten
already.
Core.
Yeah, all the mechanics, the fact that boss fights involve like, okay, well, you have to like work on poison shit and you have to dispel things. It was much more complicated. It was fucking crazy.
Before icons existed and the entire fight looked like Lucky Charms. Like,
Oh
Yeah.
my god, I
loved
can't
it,
even.
loved it.
Paladins had to like rebuff everybody every 2 minutes.
Paladins existed? What? What is this?
Yeah.
What's a paladin?
The only reason why I knew paladins were real is because we kept getting loot for them instead of shaman. And I was like, wait, why is this way? And they were like, we'll fix it. Everyone can have paladins now. It's like, no, all I wanted was shaman gear.
But can anyone forge block iron ore? I need someone who could smelt this.
Oh my god,
Being an alchemist running to the flasks. It's just like, I gotta make flasks. Can you guys clear this so I can make flasks?
The thing that I'll be fascinated with, like, even though I won't play, I know a lot of people will. What is fascinating to me and the thing that I'm interested in is everyone likes the idea of like, oh, it's going to be a hard MMO. It's going to be like back in the day when it was difficult and like you had to really try and play. And there was a lot more like difficult.
I wouldn't say that. I think that there are more difficult fights now. So that way people who are playing now are
the
people
difference
who
is
come
movement.
back. Yeah.
Before fights were mechanical. You had to like know like when to dispel and when to do this or like how to deal with certain things. Now it's about like move out of the way of this ability while also trying to heal, while also trying to like now it's about interactivity with the boss. Before it was different levels of like what you had to know and each class had a role in the fight. I'm curious what the reception will be based on the fact that I keep forgetting the name of this game, which probably says a lot about the game. The one that had a fox girl in it, Dodger. Wildstar. Everyone was like, Wildstar is vanilla. Wow. Like, I can't wait. Let's go back and play that. And everyone was like, this is boring. And so I'm really curious what the reception will be for vanilla when people go back and if they'll stick with it and they'll be like, yeah, this is exactly what I wanted. Or they'll be like, you know what? This is boring. And
so, yeah. I think like I imagine myself and a lot of other people will come back and play for like couple weeks, couple of months. There'll be a lot of fun with the nostalgia, playing with your like the fact that a lot of people are going to coalesce and play this all together is going to keep a lot of people around for a little bit. But the mechanics were a lot simpler. And honestly, looking back on it, I think the biggest thing that made raiding hard back then, beyond finding 39 other people, was fighting your lag and making sure you didn't get stuck in the fire because you had 15 frames a second because everyone had terrible computers and or terrible internet. You know what I mean? Like the mechanics were really simple back then looking back on it. And I think with modern computers and modern internet, everyone's going to be like, this is brain dead. Yeah. Like it's just tedious. And also like you had to if you were a caster in vanilla, you had to sit down and drink for like 20 seconds in between every other pull.
Yeah.
You would kill 2 raptors, conjure up your little mana thing, and sit there for 20 seconds before you could kill another 2 raptors.
You had to prepare for everything. You had to bring candles.
It was nuts. Tedious for sure. I'm still looking forward to it.
I'm just looking forward to seeing my beloved world like not distraught by cataclysm. That's all I want. I just want the original world the way that it was, and I don't know. I did that like way back when Burning Crusade came out. We did a project called Arcanist Belt where we literally made it mandated you could only be from level 1 to 60, and we only did the vanilla content, and it was so much fun. But there were so many events that obviously didn't take place. Like on my original server on Kel'Thas, I opened the Encourage gates, and like that was amazing, like collecting stuff for that long, and like I don't know, that was an experience. So yeah, part of it is rose-tinted spectacles and whatnot, but I don't know. I'm hoping that some people will at least give it a chance.
It'll happen.
All I can think about the entire time is just Genna in a video that's like, make Azeroth great again. That's all I can remember back when.
Remember when?
Better. We can go back there. That's all I can keep.
We
it's
can
really
do
making
that.
me.
Do you
It's
remember being
like
in
a horde
Alterac
flag in the
Valley?
background.
Yeah, it's like
Make Azeroth great again.
do you remember like when we could be in Alterac Valley for like a week and it's the same Alterac Valley because there was no cross server anything?
I'll go back.
That was amazing.
I'll go back.
Summon the frost giant yet?
It's like we're not even halfway through. We keep on getting pushed back. It's like you would
That
log
is-
out and log in based on that. I remember grinding for Marshall in PvP when I played Alliance side once upon a time, and that was horrific. That's like worse than PvE. at that
The only
point.
people I knew who did that were 2 brothers who would play 24/7 and they just alternate.
I
like, who
feel
got
like
Grand
we
Marshal?
paid. Yeah, I feel like I played probably at least 18 hours a day at that point when I was doing the Marshall grind. It sucked. I don't even know why. I didn't even like wearing the gear. You wouldn't wear it unless you were doing PvP, so what was the point? But
That's the other thing. People talk about how great Torn Mill and South Shore PvP was. It was literally just 2 frames a second. And you'd move forward and you'd die to Rain of Fire or Blizzard or some shit. Like, I don't, maybe
it's true.
Maybe it's
But
not
we were
as
the
good as I
best, oh my
remember.
So yeah, that was fun. Fidgy games. Fortnite, putting out llamas in the world. Real live llamas.
Yeah, they put there's like a
Wait,
big
what?
there's
Llamas
so
in Europe.
they're taking elements from inside of the game, and in the game they're vanishing and then they're appearing in real life. So I think the first one was like the big hamburger that's on top of something.
Yeah.
And a hamburger vanished in the game, and then it appeared like huge, like 12 feet in the middle of the desert.
It was crazy.
Yeah, and a photographer just like happened to find it, and there was a secret agent there who like gave him a card with a phone number on it and like weird shit. And yeah, now there are llamas popping up in Europe.
Yeah, out of like a red foam box, there was a llama, and I'm just like, wow, that's magical. So, kudos to Epic, I guess, for decent marketing.
They are having fun, which I guess
Yeah.
is
It's
you got the
crazy.
money.
Yeah,
You have that much money. Yeah, you gotta like think of some fun stuff to do.
I don't pay that much attention to the game anymore, but I am seriously impressed. I mean, they're doing it because they're making millions a month, but I'm seriously impressed with how this is like really cliche term, but like they're on the pulse of the gaming community. Like they're like on top of this game. They're
They are.
patching it, adding new stuff like every week. They're doing all these even in a battle royale game. They're like, hey, well, first of all, they completely overhauled the map like a couple months ago, and then they're doing things like they're launching this rocket and making this big spectacle event that gets everyone
People
talking
dying.
about it again. It's on every single platform that exists now. Like, it's nuts, man.
Season 5 launches on this Thursday, and I'm just like, is it really season 5 already? It's like, I don't even play this game, but it's just, I mean, I hear about it in just everyday conversation, and it's everywhere.
They've had an awful lot of luck, though. Like, if you were to go back and look at the trajectory of this game, the things that happen, besides good management on their part, You have everything from PUBG suing them and making a spectacle out of the event. We're like literally free publicity of the game.
It helped them, yeah.
Yeah. And then you have people like celebrities. The minute Drake is like, I want to play this game, and then other celebrities see him playing and are like, yo, can I play with you too, Ninja? At
I'm
that
also
point,
super into Fortnite.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
And so at that point, an audience that had no idea it even existed was now in. There's so many moments that it just keeps growing and growing and growing and growing, all because of what is technically fluke shit. Like, I don't know that this could ever be replicated by another gaming company ever.
No.
Like, they are very lucky with what they have, and I think they're smart by playing it as like, we're just gonna have fun and we're not gonna be too serious about our game. Thank you for playing. Let's do some crazy shit. And I think that's a solid way to go.
Yeah, they're definitely doing a good job of capitalizing on all of the success that they've had, and they just keep people talking about the game. I don't even want to talk about Fortnite anymore.
Me either, but llamas. How can you not talk about llamas?
Yeah,
they just show up in real life. So yeah, I guess that's basically our first hour. So we blew through most of our news. We're going to go to a break, and our lovely Dukes has done a Squarespace ad for us this week.
Real dumb, guys.
Perfect.
So after the awesome ad that will air, we'll come back and we'll actually get into the games segment of our show. And I don't know if Force has brought with us with him a host topic, but we can also get into that as well. So
we'll do that.
Stick around, and we will be right back as soon as I find the right buttons.
Yeah.
Today's episode of Co-optional Podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Whether it's a domain, website, or store, make your next move with Squarespace. Now I know what you're thinking. Dodger, you're just a mom who's secretly also a robot. Like, what do you know about cool stuff? Well, for a mom on the go like me, I don't have time to make a website from scratch. That's why Squarespace's award-winning templates make it easy. Just grab a gorgeous picture of a bucket of resistors, and voila! You've got the beginnings of your very own website. Their customer service is so easy and available that I can get my questions answered with extra time to put the baby on the charger. Next time you need to make a website, take it from this mom/robot. Start your free trial today at squarespace.com/cooptional to get 10% off your first purchase. Squarespace, make it.
And welcome back to the Co-optional Podcast. Hope you guys enjoyed that awesome Squarespace ad by our own Brooke. Yay!
Good job, Dodger.
Good job. You did
Thank you.
So, games. Or do we want to do a host topic first? We could talk about games after. Do you have anything for us, Forrest? What would you like to talk about today?
I had two. I was going to ask you guys which one you'd rather talk about.
Sure.
Okay, so it's either either WoW, like how impressed I am, specifically how impressed I am that the game is like still relevant and what Blizzard's done to like keep it that way, or battle royale games. I know they're two wonderful topics that I'm sure you're all very interested in, but
I don't know. What do you guys think? Which one do you want to talk about?
You guys have already started the deep dive on WoW.
That's
I will
true.
say I can't contribute to that, so I can just say
okay. So let's talk about
Yes.
battle royale games then.
The plethora of battle royale
Wonderful,
games.
everyone's favorite topic. So this is coming off of like a couple months ago. I made a video talking about the insanity that was the number of battle royale games coming out this year, and it's been compounded since then. And like, so yeah, everyone knows and expects that a lot of battle royale games are coming out, but I actually looked at like the numbers, and this is like the fastest growth from like, so you like look at any genre, like look at FPS, MMOs, card games, Minecraft-like games. When you have that first big game that explodes, and then the successive games that come after it, battle royale is just insanely faster than anything else. It was like I looked at MOBAs. Okay, so the first big MOBA that came out, which was the Warcraft 3 mod. There were some before it, but this was the one that like everyone knew about. And then after that, it took like 6 years for, I think the number was like 14 other games to come out. And I looked at the same thing with MMOs post WoW. It took like 3 or 4 years until 14 games came out. Minecraft likes it took like 3 or 4 years. In the first year since Battle Royale games have exploded, in the first year, there have been over 14 games.
Yeah.
Right.
So like part of the reason is because it's kind of easy to make Battle Royale games. Like it's not
jump in, jump
it's
out.
It's a pretty simplistic idea. I mean, in many ways, it's just a game mode. You could look at it as not even a game in and of itself. But like in these next 2 weeks, we've got 2 new Battle Royale games coming out. And I guess I'm just curious. I don't even know if I'm doing this right. Is this how host topics work?
Yeah. No, seriously.
Okay.
You just bring
Nailing
something
it.
and we talk about it. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess I'm curious, like, if you guys feel like there's much or any more room for another Battle Royale game to get at or near the level of the 2 biggest ones are PUBG and Fortnite.
Right.
Do you think anything else going forward could reach, let's say, at least PUBG?
I think that. Sorry.
Everybody jump in.
Go for it.
I was gonna say that I feel like with the current landscape that we have with Twitch, pretty much any Battle Royale game, as long as it's made well, will get its fair shake because people are looking for other Battle Royale games to play. Like Realm Royale was huge for a few days. You know, like they're all getting their time in the sun and their time in front of like potential buyers' eyes. So I feel like we are definitely still in a place where they can thrive, whether or not they'll, actually.
Well, let's just assume that nothing will surpass Fortnite because that's like an insane cultural phenomenon kind of thing. But I'm actually even specifically looking at PUBG because I get the sense that there's a chance PUBG gets replaced at some point in the next few years.
I think PUBG might.
Especially looking at like we got Call of Duty and Battlefield stepping into the picture. And that brings something that PUBG has never had. Much as I love the game, I've played it a lot, but boy, the polish and it still feels janky as hell.
Right.
I think this goes back to a conversation we've had on here a lot in the past, which is the idea that during these cultural phenomenon swings, right, whether it's MMORPGs or MOBAs or whatever, there is the trend of something comes out, it's huge, and then everyone else is like, we have to make something like that because that's where the money is. And I think the reason why you saw in the past it taking a little bit longer is because people were like, oh, from scratch we have to make a thing. And I think with a Royale game, you can use assets you already have to pump something out quick, which makes it more effective because you're in the zeitgeist, you're in the moment of like, yeah, everyone wants to play these games. And so you don't have to wait for a MOBA that comes out 6 years too late, which I think is the biggest problem, is people trying to cash in on a thing that's already flown by because of development times.
That's what happened with MMOs. Look at all the ones that came out 4 years late.
Look at fucking zombie games. People are still like, are zombie games finally coming out? And we're like,
sorry, buddy.
And I think that's the big thing with Battle Royale games is because they can be made so quickly. People can capture on it. Now it's about making something that people want to play. And I think you're definitely right. Fortnite is a phenomenon. It's not something that can be replicated. I don't expect anyone to get close to it. I think everyone at this point is fighting for second, and second's still a lot of damn money. So I'm interested to see what takes PUBG's place. I think you're also right on that. PUBG was the first, and it was by no means perfect. And so
it was the first one that blew up. It wasn't the first one to happen, but
it was the first like successful one. But it also had a lot of problems in it that after going through all these other Battle Royale type games, when it comes down to it at the end, what people actually see and what they want is something that's fun to jump in, jump out. If you die, you can jump right back in, and there is no downtime, and it's simple. And I think that's something you learn from the transition from like even if you go MMOs and RTSs to MOBAs, where it's instead of 8 buttons to press, now you're pressing 4. And now it's like, okay, we're going to take the idea of a MOBA and simplify it down to something where it's literally just like moving around and pointing and clicking at stuff. And that's it. And I think the simpler stuff gets with gaming, the more and more successful it'll be, which is crazy sounding, but that's like the way it is. That's what people want. So.
Well, I mean, like when they announced that Fortnite was going to be on phones, I think a lot of us were like, okay, but literally every kid that I know plays Fortnite on their phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think
Accessibility
you're
is
right.
a
Like the
big
simpler
deal.
things are, the easier they can reach more people.
Mm-hmm. And that's the thing is they're inherently fun all the time. I've never not had fun playing a battle royale mode because even if you die, you're instantly like, okay, let's start a new one.
Next,
And even though I totally got paid, hashtag I was paid to do this promotion, I played Trove, which is like a Minecraft-esque voxel game. But they added in their new expansion, they added a battle royale mode, except you use bombs and you just like throw bombs at each other. And that shit is it's so fun. I forgot to actually do the ad placement stuff. That's how much fun I had. I got yelled at by the company because they were like, you didn't even promote it. I was like, I played for 2 days and you only wanted 1 day. Like, that's how much fun I had.
Yeah.
And I think it's one of those things where it's just you get caught up in the insanity of a battle royale mode where it's like, this is great. And there's so many ways to go about it and so many strategies of you can be the person who literally just hides and waits.
Hmm.
Yeah.
You can be the person that runs in, goes crazy. There's a million ways to do it. I think it's a solid game. Like, it's why the Hunger Games should happen, guys.
Yeah.
It's just what I'm saying.
I remember having that conversation with PlanetSide 2 devs years ago. It's got to at least be 6 years ago. And they were talking about adding a Hunger Games type battle royale mode into PlanetSide. And we consulted with them on it and just like, yes, this could totally be a thing and it would be very successful. But looking back on it, back then, there's a very different landscape where we are now, where battle royale as a mode versus battle royale as a entire game unto itself is very different. We have things like the Culling 2 that's come out today, for example. Did any of you guys play the first Culling by any chance?
Yeah.
No, but I hear the Culling 2, a lot of people are refunding.
Yes.
The only thing I know is I saw a tweet from Sam earlier today it seemed very angry. And I was like, oh,
yeah.
All right, if he's mad, it must be shit.
Yeah, general response to that's pretty poor because they basically took everything that made the culling unique and interesting in the first place and they got rid of it. It's basically just like a H1Z1 PUBG mashup right now.
Yeah, it's like, oh my gosh, it's the television show. It's got all the things, that makes it amazing.
I hate that.
So do I. And it's very like canned and very cheesy. But keep in mind that the original Culling came out in 2016, as in they just ended development on the first one 8 months ago. I wonder why. Maybe because things like Fortnite and PUBG are getting so up there and it's like, hey, well, let's release a sequel. It's like our player base has gone so far down. I remember going into the OG Culling and thinking, hey, this would be great if there weren't tons of bugs and they kept on, feature creep was a problem. They would add more things to it, and it ruined what was, in the beginning, a very distilled and visceral battle royale kind of game. And then, of course, lost support. The player base goes completely to pot, which is to be expected. And now, I saw on the games release list, I was like, what? The Culling 2? They actually went ahead and made that? But why?
What if?
Yes.
I bought Dodger a white wig and I had a purple wig, and then we announced the Hunger Games together. Just what if?
May the
I
odds
mean, we
be
could
ever
do that.
in your favor.
Yeah, you could have a crazy white wig, and I'd be like, "What are you doing?" Ah! It'd be great. It'd be amazing. It'd be the best. The girl on fire. Right? Come on.
Yeah.
Let's make it happen.
Absolutely. I feel like what might be in demand right now, because we have acknowledged that PUBG is still just kind of like kind of garbage-ish. And they keep saying they're going to make it better, and it's not getting better really fast enough. I feel like, if one of these AAA like companies were to just make a really good, serious battle royale game
and nail it.
There's just
probably do really well.
Say what you will about AAA games. There's always this level of polish between like the gameplay and animations in particular. Like that stuff, PUBG still looks like an indie game to me, which is fine. Indie games are fine, but it's just this.
It still looks like a mod to me.
Yeah. Yep. And the other thing too is I'm really looking forward to. I mean, like at its core, this is kind of what happened with MMOs. It was like MMOs was the first time for a lot of people where you got this gameplay, this RPG experience on a big scale. Like all battle royale games is just deathmatch, but on a large scale now. Because like the technology and the internet finally can support that, like real-time combat. But I'm really looking forward to moving away from the FPS just combat style into more like, I'd like a Dark Souls combat battle royale, or like an RPG, like almost like an MMO style battle royale, like that kind of stuff. Realm Royale is kind of doing it, but Realm Royale also feels a little, I don't know what the right word is, just like floaty. Animations are a little awkward, something just a little off about it. So I don't know. We're definitely gonna see a lot more of these next 4 years, probably.
Yeah.
Until people are just completely sick of the genre.
I think a lot of what's going to sort of dictate the future of these games are going to be things like crossplay and being able to be supported across multiple platforms. I know that obviously this is kind of like
Sony.
old news. Sony, obviously for Fallout 76, they're not going to be able to be supported that way because Sony basically said, oh, well, we have a contract when people play on our servers and, you know, we want to keep them safe. It's like, what, are you telling me that like Xbox doesn't keep players safe when they're playing Minecraft? I mean, I'm sorry. Is there a bodyguard that like comes out and is like, we're gonna protect you against griefers? No, it's like no. I don't understand that whole Sony comment. It's like we have a contract and we need to keep people safe. That's the reason that you won't allow Fallout 76.
It's just because they're ahead. That's it. They're ahead. They don't need to do it. Although it seems like general internet opinion is turning. Who knows how valuable that really is. We're supposed to be like 5% of the actual gaming player base, the people who are vocal on the internet. But
true.
Anyway.
I remember when console wars were like the thing, like what, 10 years ago? And now it's platform wars. That's all it is. It's like, well, I can play Fortnite on basically everything and then some. Can play Skyrim on just about everything and then some. But no. So, I mean, for Battle Royale games, I feel like that is going to dictate some of the future, whether or not these other platforms are going to be accepting enough to say, yes, of course. Meanwhile, Nintendo, which once upon a time used to be like gangbusters and wouldn't let you do anything. Oh, things for Switch? Yes! Give us all of your stuff. We'll put it on our platform. We don't care about your safety.
Yeah.
Which is just such a weird 360 from the usual Nintendo mentality.
I think it was smart though, because the Switch has become like a portable indie machine.
After the fail of the Vita, I feel like they just kind of like slipped right in. They're like, oh, all those people still regretting that Vita purchase? We're just gonna slip right in here. We're just gonna I still have so many.
For the most part, Switch, like besides indies, it's hard to pinpoint. Like they're smart doing that because it's hard for me to pinpoint what major games besides Nintendo games are on Switch.
Yeah.
Right. So like if they want to pad the catalog, it has to be indie games.
Of course. But I'm just glad to see so many of them actually being ported and ported well. That's the big thing. Ported well for the Switch. All right.
Battle Royale.
That was the topic. Thanks. Awesome. So now we can talk about some games. Games.
Can I talk about a game?
Yes, by all means. Go for it.
So there's a roguelite that I've been playing called Wizard of Legend. And it's super fun. It's really, really fun. The idea is that you're a wizard who's like doing sort of wizard games, I guess. It's very dungeon crawly. There are 3 different bosses that you have to defeat in order to have like beaten it. And you have a deck of arcana or like your spells, so you get to change your loadout in between every time that you go into the dungeons. You have different outfits that you can put on that give you different boosts, and there are also items that you can equip, but you can only equip one item before you go into the dungeon. It's really nice because playing it feels really good. And you have lots of different ways that you can assemble the spells so that you do tons of damage and you feel really powerful. But it also has 2 different currencies. So there are gems that you can find, and you use those like in the real world. Like when you get spit out, you can use the gems to buy like a new spell or a new item or whatever. But when you're in the dungeon, you have gold, and the gold can only be used in the dungeon. So any items or spells or anything that you buy in the dungeon disappears once you're spit back out, but you're not losing anything by spending that gold. You know, it's not like you're buying something in there and being like, oh, this is totally impermanent and I'm really going to regret buying this because when I get back out there, I could buy something permanent. They just have 2 different currencies for it, which makes it really nice. I have yet to beat the second boss. They alternate. There's like a fire lady, a rock dude, and an ice lady. And when you go in, it's randomly generated, and you might have to go for the ice boss first, or you might have to go to the fire boss first, or but when you get to the second boss, regardless of what it is, they're way stronger. So I'm like like, oh my god, what is it like to fight the third boss? But you do feel yourself getting more and more powerful over time, and you have like better and better stuff. Or at the very least, you have more things to choose from to sort of like assemble a loadout that really works for you.
It looks a lot more fast paced than what I would have expected for a game kind of in this style, if that makes sense.
Yeah. It's, oh my God, this game is it's entirely up my alley. Like, this is totally the sort of game that I can play for hours. Are
you playing this with controller, by the way, or?
I am. Okay. Yeah, I've been
it
playing
seemed like
it
lent itself to that.
Yeah, I've been playing it with a PlayStation controller, just because Sam already had it hooked up. But nice. Yeah, it's super fun. I highly recommend this game if you like roguelites. It's so great. The feel of it, honestly, like the speed of it feels kind of Dead Cells-y. When you're playing Dead Cells, you feel like you're able to just kind of dart around if you really want and just do a bunch of damage and keep moving. This feels like that, except bumped up a little bit because you have so many different spells you can do. So it feels just really nice.
Yeah, right now it looks like it's $15.99 on Steam.
Mm-hmm.
It looks really cool.
Yes, chat's right. I also found an item that gave me a horse head, and I really just never wanted to take it off because I was just a person in a wizard cloak with a giant horse head.
There you go. Awesome. I was looking to see if they had made anything else that I might have known about, but unfortunately, I don't think they've made anything else that I've played.
I don't know. But yeah, that's what I've been dedicating.
That's what you've been sinking time into? Yeah. I've been playing a lot of Vampire after getting the nod from you, Brooke.
Yes, how do you like it?
Okay,
Tell me everything.
So problems I have with Vampire. Okay.
Yes.
Yes. I do very much like the choices versus progression. You were right. You totally nailed it. I obviously was prepared to do a lot of reading, a lot of walking. It's all good. I had some frames dropping within like the first 2 minutes. No. And I'm on an i7 laptop, so I'm just trying to figure out like, why is this happening? It's like, is it my GPU actually bottlenecking? There's a bit of stutter here and there. The settings menu is a bit lull. Yeah. But the game is capped at 62 FPS. So, of course, I went in and edited it to alleviate that problem. The FOV is too narrow and you can't do anything about it. So, I mean, I'm just being nitpicky about settings here, but yeah. That's me. And most of the game stutters when I move my mouse around really quickly. Even if I disable like mouse acceleration, I get a bit of stuttering here and there. Then again, I am playing on PC. I'm not sure if this one is technically considered a port. It looks a bit like a port, but
I don't know.
I'm not 100% certain.
I played with a keyboard and mouse for a decent amount of time, and then somebody was like, "You should really try playing this with a controller. It's a lot better."
I might do that then.
I swapped a controller, and it did feel better. Yeah.
Yeah, so
it felt like I had a bit more control over the camera, if that makes sense.
No, it totally does. So aside from the performance issues and, again, just being restricted by options menus, other than that, I mean, the game itself is nice. I just thought it was a little odd to have those performance issues in a Don't Nod game.
Yeah.
That just seemed odd
Especially
to me.
like right off the bat.
Yeah. It's like as soon as I loaded
so
up,
sad.
it was like black screen and then green screen at one point. With a multi-monitor setup, I had got a little bit of epileptic flashing. I was just I was like, oh, that's not good. Let's just move this to the laptop. But again, it's probably just being bottlenecked by my GPU at that point, because I think that it's even i7 laptop, but it probably only has like a 680M in there, and so that's probably like middle of the road, not really meant for ultra settings. So I brought the game over to the actual rig, and that's of course when I saw the stuttering still continuing, and I'm just like, okay, so this is a bit of an issue with looking around. It's like, why if I'm looking around so much, like, that makes no sense. Why am I dropping frames just from looking around?
That's really odd.
But the game's been interesting narratively enough for me to continue on, so I am enjoying it. So I've been flipping between that and more of Detroit, which we talked about during the last show. Still cranking out, getting all of these endings that I want to get. And I actually went back to playing Until Dawn.
Really?
I don't know why.
You gotta keep those little sweet children alive.
I know.
No, kill them all. Let them all die.
I hate QTE with every bit of my being. I'm really bad at QTE stuff because I don't play console games a whole lot. I did growing up, and I'm just like, oh yeah, I know where all these buttons are when I was growing up, but now it's like it's like I have to look down. It's like I feel like the person who has to look down at every single letter they type or something.
Can I tell you a bullshit thing I learned about Until Dawn?
Okay.
A lot of the things in that game involve the controller mechanics, right?
Yes.
And there's many moments where it's like, stay still, and the controller starts rumbling, and you have to like keep it flat.
Yeah.
You literally can just go in and turn off the rumble function. Fuck you! I did not know that was possible. That is
I was told that. I was told to do that. Like,
I was like,
yeah. John told me to do that a long time ago when I first picked it up to play it, and then I played through it once. He told me, he's like, well, you should just turn that off, and I'm like, no. What? It's like, it's a feature. It's a feature.
I would cheat the hell out of that. If I had known at the time, I would cheat the hell out of that.
But yeah, that's basically what I've been playing. What about you, Jesse? What have you been? What was that epileptic thing that you were playing on stream last night? It looked amazing. So, it sounded amazing.
For those of you who don't know, Just Shapes and Beats is
that's a great game.
Fucking awesome. So for years, Simon, the head dev of that game, has been to every PAX, and every PAX he's the guy who has that loud ass booth that just pumps out jams that everyone like stands in front of, and he annoys every other booth around him. And it is an amazing game. I played it every single time, and we became like cool friends. And so he was like, would you help with a GoFundMe that I'm doing? And every time that you die, I'll donate money to the GoFundMe. I was like, hell yeah, I'm in. Let's do this. And so I played through the game last night. I played it before, but I played through it last night through the entire story mode. And the story mode is really, really good. It's, 3 hours long maybe, but the music and the visuals and the shit that happens in that game is so good. It's so good. It is literally just shapes and beats. That's as simple as it gets. But it's very creative. The way there's one level that I loved where you literally, it starts with like a James Bond opening, and you have to like go in the middle to not. Basically, you are either a square, a triangle, a circle, or a pentagon, ? And you are trying to avoid the pink colors, essentially. And it's such an incredible experience just to like jam out to the music and just get into it.
The music is pretty phenomenal. That was the one thing that just struck me as soon as I tuned into the stream. For a moment, I was just like, what is this? I couldn't wrap my head around it. I'm just like, how do you understand like who you are and what are you trying to do? But the music was actually really great.
Yeah, the crazy thing is, so what's on the screen right now is like one of the earlier levels, and it starts out very much like kind of bullet hell-ish, and then it transforms from that to the minute you get to the first boss fight, which is something you're like, what? The minute you get to the first boss fight is when shit gets like out of control. And from that point on, it becomes a different experience. It starts very, very like, oh yes, dodge the pellets and all the different things and the colors that go with the music. And then suddenly the game changes. And you go from what appears to be just level to level to level to there's a world map and a story. And like, it is genuinely awesome. I'm definitely not the only one. I heard all day yesterday about how much Cry loved the game. Like it's a super fun experience. I definitely think you probably would have an easier time playing with friends.
Yeah.
But solo can be done. I played through it by myself. I died on one level. The level I think was called like Best Friends or something like that. F that level. It was I might have died like 80 times on that level. I made it through with up until that point, not dying once, hit that wall, and it was like downhill from there. And everything about this thing is so good. But the minute you get to the first boss fight, when you get to the Mortal Kombat level, like all those different things is so much fun. And the music is so good. The final boss fight is great. I've never enjoyed I haven't enjoyed a final boss fight like that in forever.
So you played the whole game already?
I played it all in one stream. I've played it before. There's some levels that I haven't played all of, but I played bits and pieces over the course of like 4 years. So I played most of the game. And so I just sat down and played from start to finish. And the final boss fight is like a hell of a lot of fun. It's so ridiculous. The music is perfectly timed to it. And it's just a very cool game. It's out on Switch now, which I think, even though it's out on PC, you should pick this shit up for Switch. This is you're traveling on a plane kind of jam because you get to listen to the music, you get to play, and then you randomly can shout on a plane like, fuck! Because that is most of what I'm telling you. One level got me. Almost all my deaths were from one level. Actually, 2 levels. Oh my God. Boss fights, you don't have like save spots. You don't have like checkpoints through the level. So if you fail, you just start back over. The second to last boss is literally it. I repeated it, thank God. So this is one of those games where it seems very, very difficult, but if you can figure it out, just like Dark Souls, from that point on, you can replicate it. Right. So like I replicated it a bunch of times, but the minute you start some of the boss fights and it goes from I can't even, oh my God. There's one fight where literally the whole screen starts spinning and buzzsaws are like coming at you and you have to move against the screen as fuck that shit. It was so frustrating, but like you're just jamming to the music and you're having a good time. It's really good. It's a solid game. So that's all I'm
I want to play this so bad now.
It looks awesome.
It's good.
What about you, Force? Anything that you've been playing recently?
Yeah, I feel bad. I'm always a terrible guest when it comes to this part of the podcast because
No shame.
I usually just like play like either these old games or I play one game for months at a time. So to cut to the chase, I've been playing WoW recently. I'm getting ready for the new expansion, Battle for Azeroth, which is coming out.
I have too.
Did you decide to go monk? I think
I'm going monk. Yeah, I'm excited. I've played a warrior as my main since vanilla for every expansion, and I kind of wanted to try something new. And I played around with the monk. I was like, I'm having a good time, so I'm gonna stick with that. So I just kind of been every time you leave WoW for even a month or you come back, it's like everything's new. So kind of readjusting to the game, figuring out my class, and getting ready so that when the expansion comes out, I can hit the ground running.
I envy your position, my dude. Well, because I do something very similar where it's like I'll play an expansion up until the first raid or so, and I'll go through the first raid, and if I care enough, I'll try to do anything but LFR. But then I'll like stop, and then I'll come back during the last raid, and all the content's out there, everything's good. And I'm like, fuck yeah, I got like 2 months of good shit left. The problem that I have now is I've hit the wall where like my Mojo, the character that I play, literally, the only thing left to do are things that I don't give a shit about, like achievements that I just don't care about. And I finally was like, oh, well, this one is if you just get 3 characters to complete your Class Hall campaign, that's an extra 25 points. I was like, that's some free achievement shit. So I got one character that I've had in the background that was like an alliance character that I had for achievements that fuck it, it's free achievements. And then I leveled up for free because you get it when you buy the expansion. Another character to 110. I was like, there's my achievement. And then it was like, get 5 characters. And I almost flipped a shit. And then someone was like, bro, you have to get every character to get all the achievements. And I almost cried because Blizzard is like that. They will fuck you over with achievements any chance they get to keep you playing the game. And I truly hit the wall where I'm like, well, I don't want to do achievements. And I've done everything I want to do for this character. So what do I do for the next till August, whatever, in this game?
Mm-hmm.
And oh boy, that sucks. That's why I left. That's why I leave during the first raid thing, because I don't want to like grind out raids. I'm not into that shit anymore. So yeah, you're in a sweet spot where you've got another few weeks where you can just have a great time. I am envious of that. I wish I had that.
Because I'm not set up for the next step either. Like I went in, I was just like had a look at like Demon Hunters and I was just like, oh, this is cool, la 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 la. But I feel like I played the crap out of Legion so much that I didn't want to touch the new stuff. I had no interest for me. Did the first raid and I was just like, okay, I'm good. And I mean, keep in mind I have 10 max level characters.
Hard pass.
So it takes a pretty big amount of content for me to be like, oh, this is good enough that I want to repeat this 10 times.
Right.
I haven't had that yet. But the last one I was just like, no, but I like the idea of everything for Battle for Azeroth, but I feel like I've already done the Battle for Azeroth like way back when I was opening those AQ gates.
We've done it a lot. Yeah.
I've done that. I've been there. So I'm in 2 minds.
Yeah, I think so. The other topic I was going to talk about, and I'll just briefly touch on it since we're discussing WoW again. I'm just so impressed with how Blizzard has kept this game like relevant. It's like every expansion, they make the game look better. They recently did a total pass over like all character animations and character models and casting and attacking animations. I'm just astonished that 14 years later, I'm still like, I'm having fun playing WoW. Like I'm genuinely having a good time with it. So I don't know. I'm playing WoW a little bit. And a couple of weeks ago, I was playing a ton of Realm Royale, which we also kind of sort of talked about.
Everyone was in that, yeah.
It was pretty cool. It
was fun.
Yeah, that's a step in the direction that I'm looking forward to, seeing more Battle Royale fantasy tilted games. I want to see more of that. So
flipping... go ahead, Jesse.
No, I was going to say, I wouldn't be surprised if we saw an in-game Warcraft Royale thing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it could definitely happen.
They jump on every time there's a thing that's popular, Blizzard snatches it up. Mm-hmm. And they're good at it, too. They're like, we'll just make a better version. Like, okay. So we'll see.
So, yeah, WoW and Realm Royale. That's about it recently.
So now flipping the script, so to speak, towards games that we are looking forward to playing. The one I wanted to address with you, Force, is something that I was curious about was Defiance 2050, the revamp. Are you looking forward to that? Because
so it's actually funny. When Defiance first came out, I think it was 2013. I think that was the year. I actually played a fair amount of it, and I remember playing it a bit with TB and talking to him about it. Like, it wasn't an amazing game, but it was kind of early on in the MMO looter shooter time frame, and there weren't a lot of games like it, and it was doing just enough right that I ended up playing it for a few weeks. And so when I heard about Defiance 2050, I was pretty excited. But the thing to keep in mind, I'm probably going to play it for a bit just to kind of revisit and check it out. Defiance 2050 is basically the exact same game, just with some updates. They're like it's almost like a remaster versus it's not a sequel. So you're going to be loading into the same areas, doing the same quest, but they say they updated the graphics, they revamped the class system and some of how the progression works. So if you never played Defiance, it might be worth checking out. Or if you played it and liked it and you're like, let me try like I just want to call it a remaster because that's what it feels like. Let me try the remastered version of the game. It might be worth checking out. And even now, like I feel like there's not enough looter shooters. I still think that that's like a market that has not been fully tapped. Even though we have Destiny and we have Division and we have Warframe, I still think that there's room. Yeah, for sure.
There's room for someone to do it really well and just knock it out of the ballpark that doesn't have gaps in tutorial or I guess the curve, you know.
Yeah. So if you like the idea, I guess we didn't even say what this was. It's basically like an open world MMO loot game.
So for those who don't remember, it was based on a TV show.
Yeah.
There was a show that played while the game was happening and things affected each other, I guess, was the whole plan. And now there just isn't a show.
Right. I don't think the show, I think I watched an episode and I was like, I don't love it. But I liked the game decently enough. So yeah, I played it a little bit. They launch today. Defiance 2050 officially launches today. They had early access starting last Friday. So if you're going to check it out at any point, now's the time that people are going to be playing it. So, but yeah, go around, kill bad guys, pick up loot, level up.
Right.
You know what it is, basically.
The huge.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no, go ahead.
Octopath Traveler is coming out.
Yes. Oh, I am so
13th.
looking forward to that. It reminds me so much of like some of the OG Squeenix stuff that was really good way back when. It reminds me like a part of Star Ocean, like when Star Ocean was good.
Right.
But I'm so looking forward to that.
Yeah, I played the demo, and the demo is pretty good. I think the game itself would have to be like pretty awesome for me to finish it, because those games wind up typically being very long.
And this one, as far as I'm aware, besides the fact that it's like pick your character and then start the adventure, I was worried at first that it was going to be like, oh my god, I only have one character to play and I'm going to have to like go through the story. But I think the actual thing is it's supposed to be, as you get new characters, you can go back and experience their story from the beginning,
right?
And then catch up to the like that kind of thing, which is fine by me. It just also means, oh my god, this game's going to take 80 hours to complete.
Yeah.
I think they also have something like in each chapter you have to like pick up certain characters in order to make things work out, and that very much reminded me of like Star Ocean 2, and I was just like, this is my game. I'm gonna be spending a lot of time on this on the Switch.
Oh, speaking of Switch, I this past week played a metric F ton of Fire Emblem Warriors. I can't even begin to tell you why. Out of nowhere, I was just like, you know what? I'm going to start playing this. And I started playing from where I left off before. And goddamn, I love that game. It is so simple. It is so great.
Do you remember why you stopped?
Just because life and a bunch of other stuff. And I was like, you know what? I need to get back into this. And I just kept playing. And it's a basic Dynasty Warriors game, but just a ton of fun. I don't know why I stopped, but I love me some Crom and Marth. Put them in there. Put them in everything. Put them in everything. That's all I'll say.
The only other game that I know of that's coming out that I've like looked at before is Earthfall.
I've looked at that too.
What was Earthfall?
It's like a team-based fight the aliens game.
It's like Left 4 Dead, but aliens, essentially. 4-player co-op. I think they said they're launching with 10 levels. You like load in. I imagine there's some sort of currency. You build like defenses. If you play Left 4 Dead, I'm pretty sure it's a very similar experience. It doesn't look bad. I saw some recent trailers and the gameplay was looking decent.
Yeah, it's out right now.
It is? It's already out?
It's in early access. It says you can buy it right now.
Wow.
What the hell?
New Battle Royale comes out this week too. Islands of Nine.
Islands of Nine?
NYNE 9.
Oh,
it's like a futuristic sci-fi, first person only. It actually doesn't look bad either. I think I saw a few BR streamers playing it, like Shroud and Dr. Disrespect and stuff. Saw them playing it a few months ago. Seemed all right. More of those.
Pretty.
It's hardcore, okay, Dodger.
Yeah.
Only
I know,
the
I
most
can tell.
skilled of players will play this game.
Oof. I'm out. Not me.
One thing that I was actually looking a bit
Anything else?
forward to.
No.
Oh, can't
what-
hear you, Jenna.
Oh, sorry. Can you hear me now?
Hello.
I'm here. I
Yeah.
promise. One thing I was looking forward to playing is a game called Garage Bad Trip. So it looks very much like Hotline Miami-ish.
Okay.
And I don't know, it's just like the whole top-down VHS era B-movie type thing. I don't know. I love anything that looks like and possibly even plays a little bit like Hotline Miami.
Same,
I'm,
yeah.
I'm drawn into it. I believe one of the people who worked on this worked on, why do I want to say like worked for BioWare at some point.
This
I
looks
can't
cool.
remember, but Tiny Build, I believe, are publishing it. And unfortunately, the name of the developer actually escapes me. But
Zombie Dynamics.
there you go. But it just looked, I don't know, it got my attention. I was looking through new releases on Steam, and I was just like, you know what? That looks pretty cool. So it came out on July 6th. It's available now on Steam for $14.99. But I don't know. I liked the look of it, and I liked the sound of it, and so far it hasn't gotten horrible reviews. So I think I'll probably be looking
Apparently
at
there are
this.
jump scares in this game.
Oh no!
How's that possible? It's top down.
I know.
Great question. I don't know how it's possible, but I guess that's the case.
Who knows? But yeah, that was just something I was looking at. I was just like, why not?
There's also the third and final Banner Saga game.
This is
coming
true.
out.
That's at the end of the month.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
Banner Saga is so good, y'all.
Yeah, last one.
I'm ready.
Following it.
I'm concerned about my Steam because my Steam's the files aren't on this computer, and I wonder if the choices I made from the first and second one translate to the third one if the save files aren't on here.
I don't remember. Is there like a login account for the game? Like a Torn Banner Studios login or no?
I don't remember what I have on there. Shit. Whatever the case may be, it's one of those games where it's the third one, and a lot of stuff happened at the end of the first one, and a lot of stuff resulted from that in the second one. So I imagine the third one will have a lot of. So I would simply say, if you've never played Banner Saga, play 1 and 2 right now. That shit is so good.
Sick.
Did anyone play The Crew 2, by the way?
No, did not play the Crew 2.
I played The Crew 2.
How was it?
It was not amazing. Like the one thing that that I was looking forward to most, for me, it's all about the flying. I don't know why. It's just, in those games, it's like, sure, you can do all this and that and the other. And it's just like, no. All I want to do is airplane and do all sorts of tricks and everything. But it had issues with detecting like loops. I would do the loop and it'd be like, no, you didn't complete. I'd have to complete it like 2 or 3 times, and then finally it would recognize that I'm like doing the trick that it wants me to do. And things like near misses, like I would fly right next to this building, and it's like I am this close to this building. Surely I'm gonna get a near miss, but no. But I fly next to a tree, near miss. I'm just like, what is wrong here? I don't understand.
So weird.
That and the rubber banding in the racing is a bit odd as well. Like you feel like this really false sense of, oh, you're doing so well, but hey, this one guy's totally in front of you. It's a very strange dynamic. You either feel like you're way ahead of the entire pack and there's not really a lot of incentive, I guess, or you're, a couple guys have passed by you and you're just given the prompt like, oh my gosh, this is the guy to beat. And I'm just like, okay, and then I pass him within like 2 seconds, and it's not really that challenging. But keep in mind, I'm playing this single player, so I'm just like going in from a single player perspective, and I'm really just hoping that multiplayer is where it's at, and that's where people are getting their money's worth, because right now I feel kind of let down by The Crew 2, if I'm totally honest. There's just like a lot of quantity versus quality issues. Like there's this entire continent or country to explore, but why? There's really no incentive to do it. There just isn't. So I don't know, maybe I'm alone in loathing the crew 2 right now, but I was just disappointed.
I haven't heard anything. I haven't heard anything positive about it, unfortunately.
Right.
So
it's sad because I have high hopes for games like that. I don't really play too many racing games, but I love the idea of like, oh, planes, cars, everything, you know.
Yeah.
I like the idea. They combine all these things to get me interested in the game, and then they kind of just fall a little flat.
Yeah, that is too bad.
Yeah. Anything anyone else has been playing or is looking forward to for this month?
I don't think so.
I don't
about
think
it.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
WoW pre-patch is happening.
oh,
We'll stop talking about the World of Warcraft. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I think it's been a while since we've had any like serious WoW, talk
For
on
good
the
reason.
show.
Why should there be?
Well, I know John didn't touch it like after Lich King, and then I haven't played really since Legion, came out, and maybe about a couple months after Legion release. So I played to get a feel for it, did first raid, and just kind of bailed. I don't think Jesse talks about it too much. So
I play, but I don't see the need to talk about it. Like, it's not. Yeah, I play it, and I'm like, all right, it's what I play. It's like Civilization. It's what I play when I'm not on. I just turn when I shut down.
Yeah.
It's what I do. It's mindless for me.
One of the best podcast video games that exist.
Yeah, I just
So, yeah,
shut down.
I wouldn't.
I have a lot of those.
I wouldn't hate about discussing it at all, because I guarantee not a lot of people actually discuss WoW so much on the show, as much as not as much as like when maybe Krendor's on or something.
Right.
All right, well, that has been our show for today. Unless you guys have anything else you want to talk about, any events or streams that you guys are doing this week that you want to draw attention to before we wrap up?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. This has been the Co-optional Podcast. Thank you so much to Force for joining us today as our special guest.
Thank you.
And best of luck to Jesse Cox, who's going to be gone for the next 2 episodes of the Co-optional Podcast to be at CoxCon in Telford.
Have fun.
And
We'll certainly try.
I guess me and Brooke are just going to kick it here and try to figure out who we're going to have on for the next couple weeks.
Heck
maybe
yeah.
Maybe we'll try and grab 2 hosts at a time and see what kind of...
2 ladies.
The
4
male optional
beautiful
podcast?
women.
I'll put on a wig.
Rocking it.
Shave the
Perfect.
beard.
Yeah.
Rocking it.
Love it.
3 women and Krendor in a wig. Make it happen.
It sounds like we might need to make that happen. I don't know. I'm getting convinced here. But yeah, thank you guys again so much for tuning in, and hopefully we'll see you next Tuesday with another episode of the Co-optional Podcast.
Yay.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.